Good morning.
Good afternoon. Good evening.
And happy today.
It's been so long since we've done this.
You forgot that.
I love that, though. That's the best. And happy today.
Happy today.
Oh, my man. It's been a while. We've been a little discombobulated. It's been a couple of weeks. We're a week we were off, but we're back. And I know there's so much to get to. First, why don't you thank all the sponsors making this thing happen?
Yes. Let's thank, Nick, because he's been, up in the air. Yes, from Bitcoin Live. Thank you so much, Nick. And thank you, Bitcoin Live. Let's thank Roundly X, Shield Folio, Quantum Expeditions, and all the plebes, everyone, all the hodlers.
Yeah, Quantum Economics as well.
And Quantum Economics as well.
Yeah.
I think did we get everybody? I think we did.
We'll get them back on the next one.
Yeah, I think we got like 85% of them. But yeah, let's get into it. So this episode is called BTC, the Peaceful Revolution. And what does that mean? So we're going to get into that just a little bit right now. And we're going to share a video. But before we get into that, I just wanted to say, what is the Bitcoin Peaceful Revolution? So if you don't like what anybody's doing in the political world, buy Bitcoin, right? You don't like if you don't like what the Israelis are doing, buy Bitcoin. If you don't like what the Palestinians and the Hamas are doing, buy Bitcoin. If you don't like the red party's doing, buy Bitcoin. You don't like the blue party's doing, buy Bitcoin. Because I tell you what, the red party, they're going to cut taxes, print more money, and give it to the banksters, right? And the blue party, they're going to raise taxes, print more money, and create more social programs. So either team is going to print more money. And if you don't like that, buy Bitcoin. And that's literally how to engage in this revolution.
Let me, if I could just interject right there really quick. And just to be the contrarian and the pushback on that narrative that the Fed is going to turn on the money printers. I would say maybe they're not. Because we've already started hearing higher for longer, that sort of narrative. The cuts have come down from what a lot of people at the market was pricing in 6 to 7 at the end of the year. Now we're thinking maybe 3 at best, maybe, and some are saying probably not even. So why do you think that still, regardless of what party comes into power, that we're still going to see the money printer? I mean, I'm all,
well, just look at what's going on right now with the illegal immigration, where we have these mass inflows of immigrants across the border, and now they're being put up in hotels and be given debit cards, right? Who's paying for that? That's Brew City in my book. Like, the money printer has been going on as we speak. So literally, it doesn't matter. The money printer is going to be activated. They have to, right? They have to do it because they put it into they've already earmarked it into some of these bills. So it's just, it's already in the cards, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. So that was my one question right there, because I'm a little bit of the mindset that maybe the free money might not be quick to return.
You're right. I don't think it's going to be quick to return for the masses, but we can see them spending, right? They're going to continually, if you look at our military budget, that is always growing every year. So they're going to have to print for that. They're going to have to print for these programs. Like I said, all this money that's earmarked for these bills that they pass, these huge omnibus bills, those are trillions and trillions of dollars that the money printer will, again, indeed have to be activated again for. And if you don't like any of this chicanery, whether you are love Biden, love Trump, hate Trump, the solution is defund your government, buy Bitcoin.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But again, we can debate on whether or not, when they cut the rates, will they cut the rates? I like what Nick is just saying here in the messages. K-shaped recovery, BTFP will have an impact or an effect on the market. What are your thoughts about that? How the BTFP will have?
What is BTFP? BTFP. Sorry.
Bank
Oh,
Term
Bank Term
Funding.
Funding
Yeah.
Program. Oh, yeah. So again, the Philly fund rate is how all of these, the Philly fund rate and the federal tax rates, the federal interest rate. Again, if they keep it where it is, which it seems like they're going to do, because inflation isn't going anywhere. This is just a fact. But they still have to keep that liquid money supply going, and it's just a fact of the matter. Especially look at how much money they're giving to Ukraine, and to other just entities throughout the world. It's billions and billions and billions of dollars that are earmarked to be spent, and it's just one of those things. If you don't like what Team A is doing or Team B is doing, buy Bitcoin. If you don't like the money printing, ad infinitum, buy Bitcoin. And that's what this revolution is about. You don't need a gun. You don't need to be violent. It is a very peaceful revolution. Convert your fiat currency from your country into Bitcoin. And the countries that are trying to, like I've said many times, that are cordoning their currency off from Bitcoin, that is literally tenfold more dangerous than your people slowly matriculating into this new economic system.
Right. All right. Sounds good. So carry on with the peaceful resolution, your next point that you had that you wanted to make.
Yeah. So we're going to pull up the video of that. And I think I had it right here. Yeah. Let me just, Nick, if you could pull that up, and we'll just restart it.
Are you talking about the video from Luke? Oh yeah, you'll have to reshare it probably, Jer.
Oh, sorry. Give me 1 sec. I thought
I'm a little rusty. I'm a little rusty at my live stream game. I haven't been live streaming, and so I'm a little rusty. Yeah, I apologize. Thank you, Nick, for always doing a magnificent job. There it is.
Yeah, so basically there is in the Congo this chocolate factory that's being, guess what, run by Bitcoin. Here, anyway, just watch.
Greatest cocoa producing areas on earth. But like so many things in Eastern Congo, it's picked and then exported to foreign countries. And all the added value of cocoa, which is enormous when you produce chocolate, are really lost to the Congolese. There are always incredible solutions to make them survive. And believe me, when we started in Virunga, they were not obvious. They seem obvious today because they've worked so well for us. But you have to really take that leap into a very creative mindset to identify that and then to drive it home.
Boom. So
Man.
that's again what we were talking about in several episodes back, right? Where I was saying that Bitcoin does this. It destroys economic colonialism, right? Which we just saw in full action, right? The Congolese have had cocoa for hundreds of years, and guess what? They get paid their little sliver, and then the Swiss and the Dutch and the Germans, they make it in this really dank chocolate and sell it for millions and millions of dollars, and they don't get any of those profits, right?
None of it.
So now
you don't even get a taste of the chocolate.
exactly
No
and
taste of the chocolate for you.
so they can take this energy, especially like energy that's trapped, right? Trapped energy, like we saw from that video we shared a couple
Or lost
episodes
energy, really, you can call it lost.
yeah, trapped or lost energy, and then again, this is everything that I've been talking about, right? This is how you build a business of the future, and then your business almost will never fail, right? It becomes almost fail-proof businesses because you're backed by the hardest currency ever created in the universe.
Yeah. Hey, something else, before, if I can just interject here, something else that we've
course.
spoken to ad nauseum, and you've done a really great job unpacking this over the well, as long as I've known you, and we've shared this in past episodes on Proof of Work here on the Bitcoin Live Network. And Nick, I've got my screen shared, so when it comes time, I would love for you to pull this up. And Gerald, I want you to walk folks through how Bitcoin strengthens the U.S. dollar. Let's just listen to Trump. We've heard the soundbite, but I just want to play it again really quick.
Isn't the next logical step for you to embrace Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin obviously is decentralized. The government can't get its hands on it. What about Bitcoin and all the young people, including African Americans, who are very interested in it?
Well, a lot of people are doing it. I always liked one currency. I call it a currency. I like the dollar. But a lot of people are doing it. And frankly, it's
a lot of people are doing it.
Probably have to do
a lot of people doing it,
but many people are
he makes it sound
okay.
dirty.
Right there, though. First of all, what more regulation do you need? It's already been deemed a commodity by the CFTC. It is now in an ETF wrapper. But hold on, let's continue.
More and more, I'm seeing people wanting to pay Bitcoin. And you're seeing something that's interesting. So I can live with it one way or the other. I've always liked one really powerful thing, and that's called the dollar.
All right, so Gerald, walk us through. So his mind is going to be blown when somebody like you or Vivek or somebody sits down and says, "Hey, guess what? Bitcoin is actually going to strengthen the dollar."
And it has
walk
been.
us through how that happens.
Yeah, it's been happening for over the last like 20 years, or not 20, sorry, 15 years almost, since the inception of Bitcoin. As people take their hard-earned, their hours of work, and they convert that into their whatever fiat currency they have, and that usually, if you look at the markets, 90% of all the Bitcoin buys are in US dollars, right? So we talk about USDC, Tether, etc. If you're trying to get into Bitcoin from the inception back in the early days, in 11, 13, etc., people were buying in dollars. You had to convert out of your crappy currency and get dollars, and guess what you're buying? Bitcoin. And the price of Bitcoin goes up, it even strengthens the dollar more. So again, this has been happening for over 10 years now, and you have literally I just wrote that article, the top 10 wallets out there. Bitcoin is number one, clearly, #duh. But we're talking like it almost has 1.4 billion wallets. Billion. Yeah. So if we extrapolate, we extrapolate that roughly one Bitcoiner probably has I want to say 4 of those addresses. There's somewhere between 200 to 400 million Bitcoiners in the world. That's a big country, y'all. It's not a teeny little country. Sure. This is a force to be reckoned with now. And Wall Street is learning this lesson right now as we speak. Larry Fink thought he could move
What are other ways in which the dollar can be strengthened by Bitcoin? Obviously, adding it as a treasury reserve asset, that
is the low-hanging fruit. The other way is obvious.
Let it run.
Yeah,
free.
Let it run free, as Nick's saying. But also, embrace it. And to come up with a federal mining system, right? We have. Let's pull up that tweet. I think I have it right over here from Elizabeth Warren. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, you got to reshare.
Come on, computer. Work with me. There we go. So here it is, saying that, according to research from Federal Reserve, corporate profits accounted for all of inflation from July 2020 to July 2021, and 41% of all inflation around July 2020 to July 2022. We must tackle corporate price gouging head on. Yeah, and of course she gets based because she's totally wrong, right? The Federal Reserve reports link to these profits with inflation, but show the profits were largely due to USG stimulus packages. So what does that mean? Printing money. Proving my point from earlier as well.
Earlier in the conversation.
And they're going to keep printing money. So if you don't like them printing your money into literally oblivion, buy Bitcoin. And now I want to get into my theory from a few years back, where I'm always thinking about weird shit.
When are you not thinking about weird shit?
Well,
even when you sleep, you think about weird
I
shit.
I probably do. I'm studying to become a data scientist, an official Python data scientist.
I saw that. Very cool. I'm going to take some copious notes. So when we're ready to transition,
oh yeah, sure.
Nick will do a little thingy thing.
So
I'm going to take
here's it's a very easy equation. But understanding the equation is the tough part. So BTC equals G. And G is the gravitational constant of the universe.
BTC equals G.
Correct.
And G is gravity.
Correct. So when people say,
I thought it meant Gerald. I thought G meant Gerald.
No.
Well, that's a whole different model, man. I thought BTC.
So let me explain it. So when, there's people that use astrophysical metaphors for Bitcoin, I always say it's very insulting when people say Bitcoin's a black hole or supermassive black hole or a white dwarf or whatever. No, Bitcoin is gravity, right? So when you get close to one of these black holes, these supermassive black holes, what happens to gravity?
Gravity sucks you in.
Well, but specifically what happens to gravity exponentially increases, right?
I'll tell you something. All I've learned about black holes came from that Disney movie back in the early 80s.
I just rewatched it, dude.
Oh, right, but it was good, but it was really bad.
Yeah, it's one of those like bad good ones.
All my black hole theology.
So as we approach literally one of these a singularity, right? What happens is the gravitational forces are exponentially increased, right? So then we have distortions of space and time. Well, guess what? Bitcoin does the same thing with money, right? If you would have invested $1,000, what is it, 2011? It would have stretched that $1,000 into $1 billion, right? So it literally stretches money in space and time.
So that's why you see so many folks on the X app or whatever social media is saying even 0.1 BTC is life changing.
Correct.
Just 0.1.
0.1.
I'm talking one full coin, just 0.1.
0.1 is correct.
Which right now I believe would be the equivalent of like maybe $6,000. 0.1 BTC if you my math is correct.
That is correct.
Riffing off the top of my head about 3 in the month here of March.
That is correct. Oh, and guess what's coming next week?
Your birthday, 3/13. Oh, I know. We've got the date circled. We were trying to get it as a national holiday, but Joe Biden not feeling it. So
not just yet.
Maybe after the election, we might be able to get to a national holiday there, Oracle.
But I tell people there's no other analysts out there that called this twice in 4 years. I said on my birthday it would hit a new all-time high 3 or 4 months before. No one has the conies that big. And the fortitude, and guess what? It looks like it's going to hit it again. Thank you, Lord. Amen. Happy birthday to me and you and you and you and you get a Bitcoin and you get a Bitcoin. No, I'm not handing out Bitcoin.
Wait a second. I was like, wait, I'm about to DM you my public there for a moment, friend.
But yes,
I mean, straight into the cold storage.
That's the beauty, and that's going back to my theory is like Bitcoin does the same thing that gravitation does at these huge distortions of space and time. When you approach one of these singularities, Bitcoin is the singularity in our financial universe. It is the gravity of our new financial universe.
Excellent. All right. What else do you got?
So let's get into, so let me see if I have it up here. I was talking about it. So got to share screen. So not wars. This is a new term I've come up. There's this thing called hot wars, cold wars, and now I've come up with the term called not wars. And yeah, Nick, I am pulling it up right this moment, or trying to. Give me a sec.
Not wars. This sounds exciting.
It unfortunately is not. But don't.
Well, then nobody's going to watch this video if it's not exciting, Gerald. You got to tell them like, oh, it's groundbreaking.
Well,
you want to know how to make money with 3 income streams? Click the link below.
Yeah.
How's that? I did my
Unfortunately, this is where we get a little serious.
Okay.
Yeah. So unfortunately, one of my close friends died a few weeks back because of this epidemic that we have going on in America. So he unfortunately, he unfortunately died from fentanyl.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
Thank you for that. He was not somebody who was into heroin and fentanyl. He was somebody that liked cocaine. But China and Russia are not our friends, y'all. I've been saying this for many, many years. As somebody with a degree in political science and been studying this stuff for over 20 plus years, they're not our friends. But if you watch this video by Kite and Key Media, it breaks it down. I'm not going to share this video because it's pretty lengthy. I want to say it's like 5 minutes long or something like that. Yeah, it's like 10 minutes long almost.
Who's got time to sit through that?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
But they break it down that, it's proof of work, right? They even reference proof of work in here where they said, even just 10 years ago, if you wanted to make a field of heroin, you have to grow this field of poppies, right? Well, with fentanyl, you don't have to do that, right? It's a lab grown opioid. And they can kick it out by the pound if they want. And that's what's happening. And it's all coming from China. And unfortunately, my friend is a casualty from the Chinese military. Trying to kill Americans. I'm coming out and right now and saying that shit. And they say it right in here too. So I'm not a radical for this theory that I came up with a few weeks ago, especially when there's this video that shows you step by step that the Chinese have strategically been sending fentanyl through the cartels. And
yeah, I think they taught the cartels, from what I saw, some of the videos and what I've dug up, is that they actually kind of helped. Yeah, it is. It's exactly like Nick says. It's the new version of the opium wars. They learned this back. They saw it happen to them through the British colonialism.
Exactly.
And now they're like flipping the table.
Exactly on us.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
And they're using the Mexican, the cartels they set them up. They showed them how to make it. They're like, oh, here's what you do, and then we're going to ship you the stuff, and then you can make it and become a proxy to so
and then this is and again, they're finding loopholes in our economic systems, and they create turmoil, right? That's what a not war is. Another example of them doing this, right, is that the Russians and the Chinese have been buying U.S. property for the last 25 plus years, hand over fist, right? Perfect example of this was during the Super Bowl, or was it the Super Bowl, or was it the NFC Championship? I forget which game it was, but they showed those 3 towers, right? They're graffitied up. Guess whose those towers were? There was a Chinese project that they just dumped on us. So now we have to deal with it. So it's the same crap they are doing in their own country with their ghost cities. Now they're doing that here with our property and building ghost apartment complexes, taking all that money, siphoning it to their coffers, and then leaving us with the bill. Yeah. So if you think they're our friends, F you. You got another thing coming. I'm sorry. And if you don't like any of this crap, buy some Bitcoin. And Litecoin. I'm telling you right now, Litecoin's going to hit $1,000 by the end of the year.
Whoa. There's the soundbite. There's the highlight to recycle for the promo for this show. Gerald Vata right there putting it on the line. 1K LTC EOY.
Yes, sir.
Bank it.
Bank it.
The Oracle has spoken. Right now, last I saw, it was pumping close back up over near 100.
Yeah, it was getting close to 100. It's starting to make its moves. The ball.
Yeah.
If you look at charts, the Bollinger Bands, like
90 right now. I've got 90 on
Yeah.
CoinMarketCap.
And I think it was the last episode. You were kind of picking my brain for meme coins. I don't like to recommend any shit coins to newbies because you should be learning about Bitcoin, right? And the first rule of Bitcoin,
Yeah, exactly.
Don't sell your Bitcoin, don't swap your Bitcoin, don't trade your Bitcoin, don't binary option your Bitcoin, don't do any of that dumb shit with your Bitcoin. It's your
self-custody.
Self-custody, hodl. It's your savings account for the rest of your life. Full stop.
Yep.
But if you're going to do shitcoinery, use dirty paper money or Tether or USDC, but don't use your freaking Bitcoin. Please. Thank you. But I did recommend WIF, and I do have that chart, by the way.
Oh, I know you have. I know you've been whipping it all over the interwebs. I've seen your charts. You're whiffing. You're waxing. You and was that not Arthur?
Yeah,
that Vinny.
No, Arthur Hayes. Arthur Hayes, correct. So Arthur Hayes is recommending what I've been recommending. I'm like, holy cannoli. Where is it? Okay. So let's pull up. And this is the reason why, people who are in the traditional finance, like, why don't you like stocks? And I'll show you right here. So today it's up 40%. Let's go to the 7-day chart. It's up 402%.
Yeah, look at that chart, dude. That's wow. That's just
1 month.
That's a really nice
600%. And in 1 year, almost 1,000%. Yeah, this is why I like crypto right there. That chart. And look at the volume. And guess what, y'all? It's not even on Coinbase. I don't recommend it as a buy right now because you're chasing the green dragon's candle.
Never chase green dragons.
Yep, don't chase green dragons. You're just going to get
just
burnt.
like don't go chasing waterfalls.
Exactly.
Stick to the rivers and streams you're used to. Not financial advice.
Exactly.
But a darn good life suggestion.
Most certainly. But again, this is one of those things where people are like, how high could it go? It all depends on how much money flows into it. If $100 billion, I mean, literally, I said it was going to pass bonk. Like last week, I was like, it's going to pass bonk. And guess what? It passed bonk last night. And we're sitting at around 1.7 billion. So we're almost at 2 billion and it's almost $2. So if 100 billion comes up into it, $100 WIF token. Do I think it's going to do that? No, probably not. But could it hit $30, $50? Most certainly could. I did some reanalysis on this the other day, and I compared it against ApeCoin. And even though ApeCoin was an airdrop, almost a similar, identical token economics, literally ApeCoin has just a CH higher than WIF supply at $1 billion. So this has a little bit less than that. And ApeCoin hit around $28. So again, it's all on how much money comes into this market cap. If 60 billion comes in, it'll hit $60. That's exactly all I got on that one. But I mean, hey, if you'd listened and put like $700 into it, like about 2 months ago, you're up about almost 5x. So congrats.
Congrats. Happy day.
Indeed.
For you.
Indeed. And what's funny is I think I had CoinMarketCap. Yeah, if I pull that back, give me 1 sec. Am I still sharing? Can you see the CoinMarketCap?
Yeah, I got you.
So one of my other recommendations, this is a mid to long-term hodl, is Flow. But as you can see, Flow and Dog with Hat, I guess it just dropped back down because we lost somebody's selling because they probably made a ton of money. But yeah, good projects. And yeah, I mean, total market cap, we're looking at, I think it was like almost 2.4 trillion. So what I tell people is Bitcoin's definitely in a bull market. WIF is definitely in a bull market. Until we get past like $3 trillion, we're not officially in a full bull market. That's the way I look at it.
Okay. It's like a mini bull, like a baby bull.
It's a baby bull. Well, Bitcoin's in a bull market because it's on its own. I mean, let's just pull up the the info
Oh my
on
God.
that.
It was so much fun last week. It was giving me those 2017 feels.
Oh, yeah.
Watching that thing just wick up, and then old Brian Armstrong probably got the call from Gareth and Elizabeth Warren saying, "You need to unplug your servers there, bro," and killed the rally. I think a lot of folks were actually kind of less on the conspiracy side, more like, yeah, that probably is what happened. And we've seemed to be crabbing there along at 62 for ever since then.
Yeah, and I think we do maybe pull back into the 50s one more time, like maybe 57, maybe 56. But
Really,
then,
I will share with you this a trusted name that I respect since I've been in this space. Somebody I look up to, and not financial advice. Mark Yusko was in a space with him the other night, and Yusko's like, "Hey, man, don't be surprised if this thing drops back to like high 40s, low 50s. Taxes, man. A lot of folks are going to have to be covering
exactly,
for
taxes,
so
and
you'll see these gains up over up even close to an all-time high, maybe right around your birthday, and then we're probably going to drop. It could very well happen, and folks.
Oh yeah, don't be surprised. Yeah, don't be surprised.
But I would
That's
say
Bitcoin.
this, though, as other folks in the room were saying that night, was that now with the ETFs, that dip is going to be minimalized and gobbled up faster than
Oh
most
yeah,
people are probably prepared for.
It won't be lasting that long.
Yeah, it'll be a short dip. It was like when NVIDIA announced earnings, and I remember at 1:20 in the afternoon it dipped below 700, like 650, 620. I'm like, there's your entry point, and then the next day it ripped back up over the 8, and I'm like, well, there you go. You had about a small window.
Yeah,
20 minutes.
And on that, and segue into that, I want to share from CoinGlass the ETFs, right? Let's get into that. Holy canasta. So let's look. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I want to see it bigger, though. I want to see it. I don't want to see my little face on the side.
If you could zoom in.
Much screen. I want full screen.
So let's look at BlackRock. Oh my gosh. Wait. Whoa. What happened there? Give me one sec. Look at BlackRock. So I made a little boo-boo, I think it was like a week or two ago, where I was saying that BlackRock had acquired 25% of what MicroStrategy had. And I was actually conflating that with GBTC's position. If we look at the assets and inflows, this is how much Bitcoin BlackRock holds, 164,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
They almost have the same position as MicroStrategy in less than 2 months. And MicroStrategy took 4 years.
4 years, right.
To build up almost 200,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So, hello, if you're paying attention, they bought another 3,000 just the other day. In the last 30 days, or last 7 days, they bought 34,000 Bitcoin. Holy crap, y'all. But as you can see, there is red on this board. And that was one of my predictions.
Yeah, there's going to be some outflows. Sure.
There is going to be some sales. So don't be surprised. As we approach these new all-time highs, Larry's got a big stiffy for Bitcoin, but money's money, and they're going to sell when it hits these numbers. And if it's in their models and they have those targets set, it's just going to be. It's going to happen, right? It's just
you're going to see some people taking gains, people taking some money off the table. You got to do that.
So here's that. This is a really nice chart that breaks it down.
Wow.
Yeah, and as you can see, even though GBTC has still had some outflows, they're still holding a big chunk of Bitcoin. And as I said, I think it was like episode 3, we want to start to see these outflows of Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
Wow. There you go. And let me pull up another one. Let me share this one. And this is like I said, I think it was like episode 2. We want to start to see the balance get down to 1.7, right? 1.6, and we're going to start to see pumpy, and look what we see right around here. The supply starts to get down a little lower and lower, and what happens to the price?
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. This is called Basic Supply Side Econ 101, y'all. If you didn't take that class.
Did you see the tweet from Caitlin Long earlier this week on the X? She was in New York. She was speaking with somebody she didn't want to name on the record. I don't have it on my screen, Nick, so we can't really share it. That's fine. But she was
the
saying
OTC
that the
decks?
OTC, yes, are dry. The OTC desks are dry. AF, dude.
You saw my tweet right before she said. I tweeted it 5 days before she said that. I said, watch them start calling the OTC desk, calling up, saying we'll pay you 10% over spot.
Yeah,
surprise.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, the OTC desks are running out. They're going to have to start going to Binance and to Coinbase, and then they have to start deciding how much over spot is in their model
value,
right?
And this is kind of what we call price discovery, and that's what really happens with ETFs. And that's what's the great thing, is that Bitcoin really hasn't had this genuine price discovery moment like a lot of assets have in the past. So this is kind of like, I don't want to say like our puberty or like coming out party or our quinceañera.
It is.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
It is. 15 years old,
it really is.
That's about the time you have a quinceañera, from what I know, because when I had my quinceañera.
But you're right. It totally, we're seeing it blossom right before our eyes, and the supply, and this is where people are realizing that true scarcity is something that is amazing, right? Anytime people try and convince me of otherwise, somebody has a repertoire of knowledge, I go, oh, really? How about, a 63 GTO, perfectly mint condition.
That the next wave that we are going to see is going to come from the RIAs, and now the news this week: Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, Wells Fargo. That now they are going to be offering access and exposure to the ETFs to their clients. So I think that the second wave of adoption is going to be coming. Probably sometime here in the next 30 days already now, as RIAs, and obviously Vanguard. We saw that ship go down like the Titanic, and they just fired their CEO as Bitcoin consumes another CEO. It's the brilliant CEOs who understand this and were able to pivot early, like Michael Saylor. These are the ones that are smart CEOs that are leading their companies. The ones that say, no, we're not going to do this, and we're going to deny access to our clients. And they denied them from what, like 50% profits. Like, you're a fiduciary? Fuck you. You just fucked me out of huge gains.
Nick, if you could pull that up. I just pulled it up because I had it sitting there. But yeah, let's be very clear. I've said this. This is one of my new theories, and I'm not the first person to come up with it. But I would say I'm one of the first people to understand it and grasp it. And now let's explain it. It's called Bitcoin extinction, right? And it's going to happen to lots of billionaires, millionaires, poor people, middle class people. It's going to happen to lots of people, companies, countries, right? Look at China. China is about to literally be taken out by Bitcoin. Nobody's talking about that, but literally Bitcoin is about to possibly eliminate China from the map with no bullets. Watch. But yeah, Tim, how you doing? What's funny is I'm from the part of Pennsylvania where Vanguard is. So I've driven past that, corporate facility many times, and I have not going to shed one tear for this guy, because guess what, dude? You just cost your customers hundreds of millions of dollars, just like Gareth Soloway. It just cost, I don't know how much money that Kramer lost because he listened to Gareth Soloway, because that's what the reaction was. Like, I'm almost 98% sure that when he did. Yeah, that when he saw that, it was like, you're taking shorts off of Gareth Soloway, Jim? Yeah. Boy. Holy crap, bro. Yeah, go look at his history.
Another reason not to listen to Kramer. There you go.
Yeah, seriously. So that is just me speculating. By the way, I don't have any evidence to support that Jim Kramer took a short on Gareth Soloway's advice. But his look on his face, he lost a lot of money when he saw that chart. So he took a short out on his own, or he took a short out against Bitcoin and he lost. I will guarantee you.
You can always tell when people are salty in their comments, like, what has Bitcoin ever done for mankind? And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, it brought Nat Burnell and her husband together. They got married. What have you done, Kramer? Have you gotten anybody together? Help relationships improve? Nope.
How about it? It took El Salvador from the murder capital of the world to not being a dangerous place to walk around in anymore.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
The dollar didn't do that. Bitcoin did that.
Yeah.
Without a single bullet, without a single person being killed. And that was another thing. It's like, if you watch that speech of Bukele where somebody asked him about that, where he's like, he would arrest all these people. He's like, these people are murderers. Should I not arrest murderers? And then the guy's like, yeah, okay, you sound stupid now. But yeah, I said that, El Salvador will be a G21 country by 2028. It looks like it might be 2026. So
yeah, a couple comments here in the DMs, and let's get to the first one.
Oh yeah, so yeah, since Nick
Samson Mao,
what's that?
$1 million in the DMs here. Samson Mao and Dan Tapio, $1 million BTC upper range this cycle. What are your thoughts on that?
So, I mean, million sounds beautiful. I like it because it's such a beautiful number. But I mean, I've been running numbers and models, and somewhere between 700 and 900K is what I'm saying.
And this
I would love it. Yeah, I would love it to hit a million. But usually, traditionally, if you've been studying Bitcoin, it usually only adds 1 0 per cycle, and they kind of didn't last one because of the whole SBF and suppression and that and this. So could it hit a million? Oh yeah, it most certainly could, because there is that probability, and it's much higher this year. I would have said, like, if you would have said $1 million in 2020, no. 100, 200, 300, sure.
So we got this cycle back up, and the stock to flow kind of brought itself back to relevance after about 18 months of obscurity. One piece of information that we were talking about in the space that I think a lot of people, well, not a lot of people because people were talking about it, but I think that needs to be factored in the bigger picture that a lot of people outside of the niche that we're in didn't really pick up on, was that now BIS, Bank of International Settlements, is now coming out openly, publicly. Yes, 1 to 2%. And we're not talking milk, kids. We're talking corn. All right.
Corn. Yeah.
Hardcore corn. What's his name? Cranston, the big dude, the guy.
Kirstens.
Yeah.
Kirstens.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Kirstens, that dude.
Yeah. Well,
the dude looks like he's the final boss you play in a video game.
That was literally from 2020. So, or 2021. So that's been out there for a while, y'all. And the fact that Snowden is saying what I said like Snowden, 6 months ago is just proving my point that I know my stuff.
Did he say it was a G20? Just said another country, though. I think
he said another country. Right. And then because we didn't get into that. But remember when I was saying there is a country mining, because I was looking at the hash rate and everyone was saying it's Bhutan. I'm like, it's not Bhutan. It was Russia. Right? Russia's number 2, y'all, in mining. Surprise! Shocker, but true.
I'm just waiting for the other shoe to fall, which is going to be Saudi Arabia and Aramco.
Yeah, it's coming. It's totally coming. And the smash buys, like I said, are coming because guess what? The OTC desks are out. So they're just going to open up freaking Binance and be like, fuck it.
My concern, though, is, especially from the U.S. side, if Coinbase is pretty much the sole custodian for the ETFs, and if they can't handle the kind of trading that we saw last week,
which I said might happen.
Oh, I know you did. So, what does that mean for them as a company, for a stock price, and just overall for people's peace of mind and security if they're custodying 9 out of the 11 Bitcoin ETFs? And they have that kind of problem just trading at that volume level? What does that mean? I mean, again, for me, I already know what it means. It means don't leave your shit on an exchange, self-custody,
exactly.
Not your keys. So
what? Yeah, not your keys, not your crypto.
What does that do, though? Let's say in the event that the government decided to pull a 33 like they did and say, okay, you can't do it anymore, or you give us all your gold, or something happens to where, oh my gosh, you can no longer access the Bitcoin from the ETF that you purchased because Coinbase custodies it, and now you can't get because either Coinbase is down or the government is shut up. To me, it makes a really centralized point of control that's easily, turned on and turned off. It's like it's a choke point, in my estimation.
I totally agree. There's pros and cons, right? Obviously, the pro is, Coinbase, when it comes to cold storage, they know what they're doing, right? Like,
do they?
Yeah.
Do they, Gerald? They don't even know how to manage the volume for fucking week here on Bitcoin trading.
Yeah. Do you think that's accident? Do you think that's an accident, or do you think that's planned?
Of course.
Okay. We have to have a different discussion then. So the question is are they negligible and poor developers? The question is, did they do that on purpose to slow down the price of Bitcoin, or did they do that on purpose to stop their ETFs from liquidating their Bitcoin? Right? There's a dual-sided coin, right? Yeah. So which is it? I don't know. But like I said, what was it, episode 1? Hopefully that will happen and stop them from dumping on us, because maybe that was the case. We're not sure. I can't tell you. But yes, when it comes to cold storage, Coinbase takes this shit super serious, dude. They set up they literally set up Faraday cages and set up like all these secret tents, and they go in and they like build it for you. I mean, I don't know if they've done this for all the ETFs yet. I don't think they have, but I've seen them do this for other people, like Fidelity. I don't think they built one for Fidelity, but I've seen them do it for institute.
Probably did their own.
Yeah,
their own.
But they popped in my head because they're huge. Yeah, but I've seen them do this for institutional grade storage, and it's like literally it's up there security. Like, they don't mess around. But yeah, to me, this is just a part of the game, right? They're slowing down the traffic, whether, like I said, it's to keep the price from going higher, or it's to prevent the ETFs from dumping. I can't say, but it happened. And if you're a plebe, don't be keeping your Bitcoin on Coinbase, right? I
think for a lot of folks also in this space, and Sailor's come out and said this openly in a bunch of spaces online. He kind of hopes, and a lot of people hope, that it kind of stays a little bit lower so we can acquire more for longer. Yeah, make the price rise in a controlled fashion. Yeah, sure. It's like the frog in the pot. You gradually turn the temperature up.
Yeah, and that's, again, from episode 1, when we were talking about when the ETFs were going to come online, I said they're not going to miss the profits from 45K to 100K. It is like mathematically the stupidest shit ever if they were to do that. And look where we're at. We're right where they think they want to be, and guess what? No, you've Trojan horsed yourselves, right? Where they think, again, I don't think I have that meme up, but the meme from yesterday was, right, Fink is like, sell some of the ETF. The price moved. Are they all freaking out? No, they're fighting over the pump song. And he's like,
yes, right, exactly. A pump song. That's a nice segue, Gerald. You're good at this game. Have you done this before? The pump song? Maybe.
Pull it up, buddy.
That was a fun little debate that folks have had over the past week, and obviously the last song was "Pump It Up," and then Jeff Ross, the doctor out there, I love him, Valisher Capital, was saying we need a new song. And so I humbly threw together my rendition of Creed's Higher. It's a house remix, and I mashed it up with some audio from the lovely and talented Michael Saylor and Max Kaiser, with a little bit of Senator Cynthia Lummis thrown on the end. So let's check it out.
Let's do it.
Give me an example of something you can own $100 million of with no custody of it, and where you can actually move it anywhere on Earth, and where even if I hold a gun to your head, I can't take it.
The best thing to do is to simply hodl.
The bank in New York thinks, well, I guess we can't screw these guys over, because they'll just move to Singapore. And the guys in California say, well, I can't just tax all the Bitcoin in California. It'll move to Wyoming. And at the end of the day, you can tell everybody to go fuck themselves. Fuck themselves. You can put it in your head, memorize the freaking key.
Let Bitcoin do for you what you cannot do for yourself, and that is get rich.
Thank God for Bitcoin.
So it seems like that kind of is the song Higher. Dr. Jeff, big proponent of BTOs. You ain't seen nothing yet. But I think folks like Yellow and the Meme Factory, they're on board with Creed's Higher, and I think that for younger folks, specifically if you're not a boomer, and I don't mean that in a bad way towards Jeff. I love Jeff and respect the hell out of him, but older people might identify more with that. But I think people our age and a little bit younger, Gen Z, Gen X, we understand Creed. Creed is almost more of a classic act now, you know what I mean? And a song like that speaks more to those generations and to those people coming in. And Taylor Swift. I'm not sure. Does Taylor Swift have a song called Higher? I don't know. I'm not. You know what? I'm not a
Swiftie.
I'm not a Swiftie.
Yeah. I'm not a Swiftie. I like, again, there's some of her songs I like. I'm not gonna lie.
If I heard one, I'd be like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. But I'm not a Swiftie. I couldn't tell you any of her songs other than I think one's about a cardigan sweater. I don't know.
No, there's a handful of her tracks that if they come on, I don't turn them off. But you won't catch me at the Eris. No offense.
We did, on our other show, Matty Greenspan asked the advisor. We had a little fun and we asked him to compare NVIDIA to Taylor Swift and the frothiness and the heat map. And he did actually some Google Analytics comparing Taylor Swift to NVIDIA. And they both remarkably, when you look at the data from Google Trends and the analytics, you see the uptrend about September of 2020.
They almost match.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know if
wow.
Oh yeah, Nick has got it there. We were talking about AI trading. Here it is.
Some parallels between Taylor Swift and NVIDIA. If we'll take a look at Google Trends over the last few years, she's been up and down, but it was really only over the last year and a half to 2 years when things really started jumping, and you can see that same kind of phenomena with NVIDIA stock. But here's where it gets really interesting, is if we compare Taylor Swift to NVIDIA on Google Trends, you'll notice that it's just right around September 2022 that both of them started to kick off. I don't know exactly what it was about September 2022, but it seems to have given them both a pretty big kick in the butt. Those are the longer term charts. Of course, if we start to zoom in over the last 4 hours or so, there are some periods where, Google searches tend to overlap between the two, the popularity of the two. So, people got music on their mind. They also have chips on their mind. And
chips on their mind.
Yep. Chips and Swift, man. Swift and chips. Swift and
yeah,
chips.
and that.
So let me ask you.
Yeah,
what is more oversold, Taylor Swift or NVIDIA? What's more oversold?
Taylor. Because NVIDIA is going to keep making chips, and we've been in a chip shortage for almost a couple years. So
all right. I know this is totally off script, and I don't know how much time we've got left on the clock, but I just want to throw this out there. Let's talk AI. It's so huge. Outside of NVIDIA, I'm really excited about Intel. I think there's a lot of room to the upside with Intel. I think they're going to have some great offerings. AMD is another one. I'm really, really super excited. I think that they will. I don't think that NVIDIA is going to continue to have the dominance of market share. Yes, I think they will continue to do well. I think there's still room to the upside on that stock price. How much, I don't know, is still left. But I do see other projects. Like I said, Intel and AMD are the two that I would really be looking at. Like, there's a lot more room on those to run. And especially with Intel, they've got a lot more stuff in the pipeline that's coming that's related to AI. And so those are my thoughts. Where are you at when it comes to the AI stocks and even AI crypto for that matter, which we haven't even gotten into yet?
Yeah, so I'm not huge into AI stocks or AI crypto. I think that people are overlooking Bitcoin in this matter. Bitcoin is a form of AI, right? It is artificially intelligent ecosystem, and adjusts its difficulty to fix the block times, on a 2-week basis, right? Like, so, that's where I still think the play is. I still think it's a Bitcoin. As far as AI cryptos, there's got to be like several dozen of them out there. I had invested into one. It had pumped a little bit. Like, I took like $20 and it went to like $100 in a week. And I was like, nope, I'm done. And that's when I just started doing research on the Solana meme coins, and I had found WIF. And I threw it into that. But as far as AI, I think, NVIDIA is obviously still the play, but I think a lot of the stock market is overvalued. I said that MicroStrategy was overvalued. I still think MicroStrategy is overvalued.
Wow.
And Michael Saylor thought that too, because he sold his own shares to buy more Bitcoin. And what did he do with it? He bought more Bitcoin. So again, I still think the play is to stack more corn. If you don't have like 0.1 to a full corn,
but
get onto it.
Let's say you have more than that. Let's say you were smart and you got in the game early, and you might be able to diversify and broaden out, as they say in the financial world. We're going to broaden out. We're going to reallocate and broaden out.
Bitcoin, I still think Canaan is the most undervalued Bitcoin mining stock out there. They actually make shit, and people buy it. Genesis Mining is like I think their #1 purchaser of Canaan rigs, and Bitmain's products are losing quality. I've seen over the last couple of weeks, I've seen multiple Bitcoin miners, small scale and large scale, having problems with their miners catching on fire from Bitmain, and Bitmain not doing good customer service.
Wait a second, that's the new trope. That's boating accident. Oh, my miner's caught on fire.
Yeah, exactly. We had a flood and all my ASICs are underwater. Yeah, but that actually has happened many times, actually.
But yeah, lost my miner. Sorry.
But I have been seeing this. I wouldn't say I don't have numbers on it, but I've seen more than a couple of incidents now where I've seen Bitmain rigs catch on fire. Like I said, I think Canaan is the play. Super undervalued stock.
Hut 8 was down really, really substantially the last week.
Again, any of the Bitcoin miners, they're going to kill it in the next year or two after the stock market. I don't know if the stock market's going to have a huge dump, but at some point it's going to pull back. After that, I think all of these Bitcoin mining stocks are just going to like explode, if not explode with the price to the upside, as we have been seeing. But I think that that is a good play, especially like I said. Canaan's my play, and I'm just going to keep dollar cost averaging into it, and that's the really big tool.
You've been big on them for a long time.
Yeah, that is the biggest tool you can have in your war chest, as not, one of these VCs and not one of these, huge investment firms like Pantera or Blockworks, or like these guys. Dollar cost averaging is literally your lightsaber to making it in Bitcoin and the cryptoverse, right? Whatever you're stacking on, lump sum is too stressful. It's too much of a headache. It will age you, right? It'll make you look bad, and you won't sleep well. I tell people, you DCA, you're going to sleep well. You're going to get in that exercise. You're going to get some sunlight, and you're going to change the trajectory of your life forever. Lump sum investing in this space is nothing but a headache and high levels of stress and cortisol through the roof, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't recommend it.
Not financial advice, but a darn good life suggestion.
That's what you
say around here.
And again, I'm sorry, but I'm going to say this is financial advice.
It's up to you.
Yeah, buy Bitcoin. This is not this is, again, we're not trying to. I say this, and I've orange pilled a dozen plus people this week, right? It's because I drive Uber, part time. It's not a get rich quick scheme anymore. It is a
it never was, though.
Yeah.
If you ever thought for one moment, hold on, hear me out.
Yeah.
If you ever thought for one moment that Bitcoin was this get rich quick scheme, you're an idiot. There are no get rich quick schemes. I don't care if you're Gary Cardone, Grant Cardone, Joey Fatone. I don't care who you are, where you're from. Anybody trying to pitch you on a get rich quick scheme, full of shit.
Exactly.
The best thing you can do is like what Gerald said, dollar cost average, self-custody, and hodl that Bitcoin. That is the best play. Those are the 3 things you need to do. And that's not financial advice. It's a damn good life suggestion. Gerald wants to call it financial advice. That's up to G. I'm just saying, you do those things, you're fine.
And just to elucidate on that point, is it's not a get rich quick scheme, right? It is a don't race to being dirt poor scheme and becoming the serf that the WEF wants you to be, right?
It's a change your life scheme is what it is. It's a change your life over time. And honestly, for me, when I looked at it as at least a 10-year time span. That was my time horizon, was at least 10 years. I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to learn and educate and do everything I can and be the most conservative in the most volatile asset class. And I think that's the way you play it. I always equated it to like golf. It's a par 5 dog leg left, and I'm going to lay up on the second shot. I'm not going to try for the green, get wrecked, and go in the bunker. You know what I mean? I'll take the birdie. I'm not trying to go for the eagle. I'll take the birdie and putt out.
Yeah, and look at me. Like 6 or 7 years ago, I knew nothing about this stuff. I knew a little bit about code. I knew some basic. I knew a little bit of HTML. Now I know some JavaScript. Now I know some Solidity. But a couple years ago, when I was started to try and figure out like what my specialty would be, I started, looking at jobs because I'm always looking at lots of information, and I started noticing even the software as a sales service jobs, like the sales positions are like, do you know Python? Like for sales jobs, y'all. So that's when it was like probably like about a year, maybe like 7 or 8 months ago. And I saw this company called Codefinity, and they had, and this is an endorsement for them because I've been using them for a couple weeks now. But they took OpenAI and fused it with these Python training courses, and it is amazing stuff. And I've been blowing through it, and I love it. But it has changed the trajectory of my life. Right, I'm going to become a Python data scientist in another like month or so, and I've only been working on in these courses for like a couple weeks. It seems like it's been much longer, but I just been attacking it. And that's it. These jobs starting pay $100,000 a year, right? So this is the Python data scientists are like the accountants of the future, even though we're not technically bean counters. How long is the course? How
is it a couple week course that you signed up for, or what?
It's basically
we need a link for that, Gerald. Share a link when you can.
Yeah,
to the program, because I think a lot of folks out there would find value in it, and a lot of us are already kind of messing around with OpenAI and some coding. And I remember a little bit from my MySpace page, so heck, I might even become a data scientist. I don't know.
Yeah. Again, so if I'm trying to find if there is a link, because I'm looking right now.
Well, where did you sign up for this course?
Oh, I saw it on X, actually, amazingly enough. So I'm in my profile right now. Give me 1 second. Let me see if there's a link in here.
And it's just a total at-home work at your own pace.
Yes, correct, 100%. But the cool part is it's fused with OpenAI. So when you're working on your code, you make a boo-boo, it'll tell you what you did wrong, what you need to fix, and it's pretty amazing stuff. My profile. Okay. Oh, here we go. But yeah, I love it. And so if you've ever, let me see, if you've ever been in retail, or obviously, I mean, we're talking about finance all the time, and seeing these key KPI numbers, right? That's what pretty much data scientists do. We can basically, with like about 5 to 7 lines of code, we can run what it's called a data set on your web page, on your CSV file, and literally, I just got done my class on pandas, and it's a library within Python. I can literally like pull out like all of this information from just about 7 lines of code, and it's amazing stuff. But like all those key performance indicators, if you've been in retail or finance, you see those charts with all those numbers. That's what Python data scientists do and SQL data scientists do. We like literally put in some code and boom, it pulls out and extracts all of this information. And then we use these tools whether to analyze these data sets or compile these data sets for companies like General Mills, to Universal Pictures, to, F1 driving teams, etc. The list is endless. And that's the other reason I was like, oh, so every company in the world has Python data scientists? Yes, almost every company in the world. And
the great thing is it allows you to work at your own pace, at your own time, and then you end up with this degree, this certification of being a data scientist with Python, and you're able to then add that to your resume and update your LinkedIn bio and be like, hey, look at me, I got a great skill set.
Yeah, and again, it's going to change everything because we're not going away from this digital economy, right? We're just going to get more and more and more deep into it. I guess that was my link to my actual, but at least it pulls it up. Yeah,
at least it gets you there, and you got the pricing, the catalog, the workspaces, etc.
Yeah, but America as a whole needs to be doing this, right? I've been talking about this for over like almost a decade, and I've been doing it myself as an American citizen. I've been upping my skill set for the last 10 years because I can see inflation is just going to destroy your pay, right? So you have to be earning way more just to make it. And,
that is so true. I mean,
I used to.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish.
Yeah, no, I used to be that guy working in the sandwich shop. I used to be that person working in the mall, right? Like those jobs will not sustain you for a lifetime. This is just a fact. Like if you want a family, if you want to have that American dream, you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to have to change your skill set. And maybe you can't learn code, but maybe you can learn marketing and get into, Bitcoin marketing or something else. But America needs to up its game because there's a lot of Americans that don't even know how to send an email still, unfortunately.
Wow, that's incredible. Man, really, I appreciate you sharing the link, codefinity.com. I think a lot of folks should probably take the time to think about that and really give it some merit. I know I certainly will. And I mean, as much time as I spend online, even doing my own analytics and using OpenAI and some of the other AI platforms, it seems like the logical next step would be my adoption of
Python.
Python. No doubt. So I think we're getting close on time here. We're about over an hour. So you want to put this thing to bed and wrap it up?
Yeah. So again, I think our show stands on its own. We're probably the only two analysts out there that have made all these predictions. And I never say 100% accuracy, but we nailed a whole bunch of stuff way months before all these other people. And up your skill set because it will change the trajectory of your life. Literally learning new things is where it has to be. You can't get set and be stagnant. I've been fighting learning code for probably like 10 years of my life. And now that I'm doing it, I was like, I should have did this 10 years ago.
How long until you finish the course? I know it's going to be different for each person, subjective on their amount of time, but how far along are you and how long until you think you're going to be complete?
I guesstimated like, the average American could probably do it in like 2 to 3 months. If you're technically savvy and you know a little bit of code, probably 2 to 3 months. If you don't know any code, it would probably take you probably a year, maybe more. I started about 10 days ago. I'm almost done.
Wow. Yeah. You're a freak, dude. He's a freak of nature. He's the digital crypto guru extraordinaire, the Oracle, Gerald Vata. Thank you again for dropping the knowledge.
Thank you so much. Thanks to Nick. Thank everyone at the team at Bitcoin Live, Quantum Expeditions, Quantum Economics, Roundly X, and Shieldfolio. I think I got almost all of them. And stay safe, stack sats, y'all, because we're about to see new all-time high soon. Fun.
All righty.